wanted to talk about was just like the general indifference and apathetic state of the students and of the general population of our nation to get out and do things like in Quebec when the tuition went up and all the students came out and didn't go to school. We're like, no, you're not raising tuition. And like here, we're just like, oh, okay, I'll go get a beer. And Argentina and Spain, people go out in the streets in millions. Like, where are the people? But what I should be talking about is my current research project with WMU Natural Areas. But I'm not going to talk about that either. Just a little bit. What I am going to talk about is this. If any of you have driven down Arboretum Parkway in recent years or been around to see the fragmentation and loss of forest in Savannah, you can contest the sad loss of the beauty of the land remnant once wandered and explored by WMU students and community members. Development proposals for the Arboretum property have caused protests and controversy since 1994 when the WMU Foundation and a Florida developer announced it was going to turn all 183 acres into bulldozed earth and then housing units. The plan was rejected, however, much of the land was still sold by the foundation and then developed. Today, with the new Arboretum Parkway, which divides the land, the middle school, the ARB student apartment, and the newest tragic and ironically named Walden housing development, the land is now very different than it was 10 years ago. One of the largest slippery elms in the state, thankfully, still sits in the 50 or so acres that did not get slated to become concrete. But the damage done to the wild turkeys, the fox, the eastern box turtles, and other plant and animal life once known to inhabit the site are now mere memories. Rubbermaid is now almost done with construction of their new facility, which sits maybe 100 feet behind the Gibbs house, the WMU Sustainability House, where past fellows would be quite heartbroken to see what had happened to where once stood a community garden, a historic barn, and a beautiful prairie. The plastic producing company's building is quite an odd contrast to the historic home, the ancient pear tree, and the native plant landscape. The Old Colony Orchard, which sits to the west of Drake Road next to Asylum Lake Reserve, was gifted to the community as public space under the ownership of WMU, but is now being surveyed to become another BTR park because of actions by the WMU Foundation selling the land to the state, where they stripped the conditions of the agreement, and then the state selling the land back to the foundation so that the land could be used for development purposes.